Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today, it is time to showcase Octogram Guy. Newly minted 120 Octogram Guy. So if you didn't watch my previous video from today, you should probably go watch that, and then spit all over my name. But, regardless of that, also, I hope you cannot hear the pumping bass of my stupid fucking neighbor upstairs, because he's not moving, he's just playing music very loudly. And OBS seems like it's picking up his bass, but we'll have to see when I edit this video. But, what does Guy do? Well, he's a very, very good character. He's earth and physical, he uses a greatsword, he has a single target ult. Now that he's 120, it's 510%. And then EX, it's 1.5 times damage. His first skill, very, very good. Alt damage for everybody by 80%. Excellent. And then all physical character allies crit rate is guaranteed. So 80% damage and guaranteed crits if you're physical, which there are quite a few physical characters in this game. That's very, very good. And very, very generic, considering all three EX metas we've gotten so far are physical. So this means that Milim, Fantasy Milim, needs someone to have crit. If you don't have Frey, but you have Guy and you have Milim, now she can crit, along with doing 80% ult damage. So you bet your ass we're going to test that shit out. And then his second skill is a triple orb change of 2 greens and 1 orange into 3 blues, alongside blue gauge increased by 10%. So far, I think we only have two. Well, I guess now we have 4 triple orb changers. 2 of them are Guy, so we're looking pretty good. One's Octogram Guy, one's this guy, and then the other 2 are EX Yum and Mirren. Who, okay, whatever. Valor trait nerfs blue gauges can be useful. Maybe once this current Valor Cup season leaves, we'll go back to blues or maybe oranges. Who knows? But definitely can be of use in certain places at certain times. And then his actual trait, now that he is fully maxed out, it is every 3 turns you get 7 points of protection gauge, which is very, very important for a stacking team. And then he gets extra crit damage if Rimuru is a battle slot, and he is a self-buffer. So, we're going to test him out on a number of teams. This video could be long because he is not only a good DPS, but he's also a good support unit, so we could try out a bunch of teams, and I'll just put timestamps for whatever I use in the video description or something. But first, we're going to use this cracked out team, well, almost cracked out team, on Extreme 3 of the current Beatdown Battle. So we've got Velzard, we have Guy, we have Light Milim, who can convert her own orbs to blues, and also give us a 45% attack buff. We have the new Light Hero, who can give us, or put that 50% resistance down, and also orb damage, but also, she's good at getting people's EX ults, because she can swap Guy's ult for another orb, and then we can just keep him on the field and send 6 blues again. The free-to-play Xion is stacking crit damage while also buffing blue's ult gauge increase, which is very good, so that's nice. And then we have the new Valentine for her support and her extra protection gauge, that skill that she can give. So let's try this one out. This Beatdown Battle has a set orb change built for Guy. So if you don't have Guy, it's gonna be a little interesting to play around with that. But when I do my Beatdown Battle videos, I'll make different teams. Don't you worry about that. So turn 1, we have 3 blue, 2 green, and 1 orange. So let's go ahead and use Guy. And then we'll get probably Valentine in here for Milim, because Milim's best in the back, so she can come in and steal whatever we need her to. So we'll send these first, and then we'll see how much damage we do with Guy. So 46, 56, and 10,000 damage. Double the damage almost that Valentine was doing. Oh. Okay, yeah, that works out quite well. So let's go ahead and bring Xion in for the hero, and then we can use her orb change and her crit stack. So now this is 10% buff to all gauges, and then because of the crit skill, we also get 10 or 20% to alt gauge. So technically we're getting 30% to the alt gauge right now on all blues. So let's use a stack of Velzard right here. And oh, I need to turn that off. Now I could have brought like Wind Trainee, who would be good for forcing ults, because we can just use the skill, give Guy 35% alt gauge. She would also get us double protection gauge on turn 2. But I wanted to go with this team first, just to see how it would run. So, nope, not that. Let's go ahead and send all this now. So we've had one stack of Velzard, which is buffing our attack now. So now Valentine's up to 6.1, and Guy is doing 10k right there. And then his 200% orb does 22k, even with the additional defense that the orc gave himself. So, wow, perfect. So, let's do another 2 stacks of Velzard. So that's now 36% attack. And then we can just use Guy's skill again. And then we'll get a full hand of greens, and then we could probably get another stack of the crit damage as well. So this run is going exceptionally well. We are going to get both Valentine and Guy's... Oh, we're not going to get Guy's ult, so actually that can work out. So now Valentine's up to 7.8k. So you can see that, you know, we can ramp up damage real fast using Velzard. It was, you know, 12% over and over and over again is a lot. And I don't know if we're even going to get an EX ult for Guy, because he just does way too much damage. Alright, so we have another green coming in. So let's go ahead and take out... Let's do one more stack. And then we'll take out Valentine for Milim. And then we can steal those and then use Guy's Orb Change again. So steal, Orb Change, and then another crit stack, I guess, for funsies. This will get Guy's ult, so we won't get the EX ult because this Orc's not going to live. But we can at least do some good damage. So let's get you out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, come on, 7. Alright, so 260 points. Do we actually have enough to use everything? I think we do. So 160, that leaves us with 100. And then we use Milim, and then we use the heroes 25. So I think we do. So let's just see how much we do with his normal ult. So let's do the 50% resistance down across the board. And then we'll bring in Milim for Xion, because Xion we're not going to be able to use anymore for stack. Let's do, and then actually let's get Milim or Valentine in here too for the hero, because the hero's not useful anymore. So then we'll do the attack buff, which also lowers light resistance by 30, but it's not as good as the 50, so it's not really a big deal. And then we're also not going to get the extra 40% crit resistance down because we're not on turn 8, but I don't think he would live to turn 8. So we'll do that, and then we'll do this right here, which is the ult damage and guaranteed crits. So we're missing the 40% crit resistance down. How much are we going to do with one more stack of Velzard? So many V's. Alright. Let's send a nerfed orange just for funsies to see. And we do 55k. And his ult does 534,000. 534. Not an EX ult. And missing the extra crit resistance down. It's a very good start. So... very competent DPS. So we have to go against a space enemy. Let's see if there's another stage we can bring him in that we can do that. Alright, I figured we would go back into Beatdown Battle, but this time it's Inferno 1. He has a lot more health here. A little bit more tanky. And so we are on turn 7. We have a 5 send of Guy. He almost has his EX ult. So the next turn we will have enough points to use all of the buffs and see what he can really do with all of, you know, his damage and whatnot. So let's just see what he does here on the 6 orb send. We've stacked with Velzard quite a bit, so he's doing 17k a hit without anything going on except pure raw stats. So now, okay, so turn 8, his defense goes away. Now Velzard's skill becomes the Awaken version, so we can put the 40% crit resistance on him. So let's go ahead and do the all resistance down from the hero. Cool. and then we will bring in Light Milim, so we can give him the 45% attack buff. Yes, this is going to look real nice. And then we'll bring Dark Xion in case we have enough points to use another stack of her. I don't know if we will, but we're going to do it anyways. Oh, we do. Okay, so yeah, cool beans. There you go. Let's do that. Let's use the last stack of Velzard that we have here, and then we'll check out what he's got going on for him. We also have an alt gauge charm, so that's another 8%, so 88% alt damage here, and Guy is sitting at 128% attack, 20% crit damage forever, and that's from the Xion stacks, so it matches what Carrion does. So, you know, Carrion is less specific than Xion is, because Carrion just gives 20% crit damage to everybody regardless, and not just physical characters. He also has the same orb changing skill, but Xion does have that extra 20% alt gauge on blues, which is going to be really important for getting Guy's EX alt. So that helps a lot more than Carrion's second effect, which is like a 15% attack buff on himself. So I would probably much rather use Xion than that. Then we have 14% crit damage from the trait from Velzard, 45% attack from Milim, physical attack 50%, guaranteed crits, and then the Orc has the decreased resistance, and then also the 40% crit resistance down. And we're going to do 765% alt damage. Alright, we'll send, I think, one Velzard, one Guy Orb, just to see how much he does now, and then we'll send the alt. So Velzard does 51, he does 138k, and then hits for 1.3 million damage. That's pretty good. This team is not done. We still have at least one more unit coming. At least one more unit, who will probably replace the hero on here, maybe Light Milim, who I don't actually know, but he hits for 1.3 million. That wasn't overly difficult, especially since the hero can swap his alt for another green orb. You can definitely play around that, and then just have 6 orbs of blues. So this team works very well, but now that we've seen his true capability on this, at least on this team, let's move on to a different stage and a different team build. Alright, so next, we're gonna take him and also Fantasy Frey into the old Space, 2.0, right? No, Earth 2.0, sorry, Earth 2.0 Tempered Edge. So Frey's going to change to greens because the stage is as a green-focused team. We've got Isis for the blue orb change. We've got Erin for the turn 1 orb change, plus she's Earth. We've got Guy, obviously, as one of our primary damage dealers, who's also going to give us that 80% alt buff alongside Mirren's 60% Earth attack buff. So ideally, we would have all 3 of their alts, maybe the EX alt for Guy, and then we could use the stat swap on Mirren, and then... Actually, no, we can't, so we'd have to stat swap. So what would we do? Okay, we'd be like 500 point difference. Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, yeah, his attack will be lowered, but we'll see. Obviously, you know, we want the attack buff for the Earth attack buff, and then Lumi's here because she's also a nuker. So let's try this out. This is a set starting hand, so we don't have to do too much with it. Alright, might have to make a quick cut there, but nothing's changed. We're still here. We're still going to use Erin's orb change turn 1, and then we're going to get Isis out of here so she doesn't take too much damage, because these guys do hit pretty hard. So I don't want her up here at all until like we're ready to maybe stall out a turn for the nuke to get points. So ideally, we're going to have an EX alt with Guy, and then a few... Wow, okay, just hate Erin. A few stacks of the Earth attack. I think it's unrealistic in this stage to... Okay, sure, whatever. To attempt to go to like turn 10 for that maxed out 6%. So once we get the EX alt for Guy and we're ready to go, I think we're just going to send it regardless of what turn it is. We can do... that. And then we'll get Isis in here for her orb change and the green buff. And then we'll hold on to the Frey, because we don't need to use Frey right here. And then we'll do Mirin. So we can work on getting her ult, which actually this will get her ult, so we can hold her in the back. 28, 59, Guy with the physical resistance is doing... oh, there's no physical resistance, 9k. When does he put physical on? Alright. You're gonna ult us, that's unfortunate. Alright. Let's get the continuous heal going, and let's yoink his ult as well, because I don't want to deal with it. And then continuous heal. And then we'll get Mirin out of here for Aaron, I guess. And then we're gonna get an EX ult for Valentine, I guess. Let's actually get Guy out of here. That way we can swap him in. I have a feeling if we don't do that, we're just never gonna get his orbs. So let's do that. No one gets the crit from Frey because no one is physical on the front row. 4,900 damage. What's happening over there? Alright, yeah, we'll bring him in for Aaron. Also, Aaron's taking some hits. Okay, so Valentine has an ult, two ults, so we can send one. And then we'll get you out of here for Guy, who has 4 orbs. We don't need to yoink again. Is there anything we can do, though? We can green buff again, I guess. Make sure that keeps on going. Let's use Frey. And then we'll send all 6, because there's no point in holding ults for Valentine, since she's not an EX character. This will get Guy's ult plus change. Oh, his EX ult. Alright, perfect. So then, I think we're going to nuke next turn. Because we have Frey, we have 100 points, we have Mirin's ult in the back, we have another Valentine ult, and we have Guy's EX ult. So we're going to send it here and see how much damage we do. I'm going to send the other 2 first, though, because Guy, we know, is going to do a lot of damage. Except Isis doesn't have an orb. Okay, well, hilarious. Thanks, guys. Do we take the ult and pray we don't die? I think we can take the ult. It's not 2 ults, right? It's just 1 ult, yeah. Alright, so let's just do this, and we'll make sure Aaron or Mirin has an orb next turn. Alright. Pop, pop, pop. The physical resistance is also leaving on turn 6, so that's good. It means that Guy will hit normally. Please don't full target him. Okay, cool. We're ready to go now. So, let's use the stat swap and the 40% earth attack now. So, what does Guy have for attack stat now that's been swapped? He is at 11.1. So he still has more attack, which is fine. Probably because we got that extra 20% from Frey. And then we will use Frey herself. We'll give Guy crit, which he's going to do anyways. So let's use that. Sadly, we don't have enough to use the magic buff for Valentine, because the guy's expensive. But this will buff everyone else's ult damage by 80%. So let's see how much we do here, here, here. And then we'll send the rest. And maybe we kill everyone? Maybe? I haven't watched these ults in a while, so we'll watch Mirin. 40% ult damage, the stat swap, so now she's going to have a lot of attack. But she's still not like a super good nuker. Like 85k is actually more than I thought. I was going to say 50. Like 60k, yeah, that's kind of what I expected. And then 139. And we almost, well, we don't quite one-shot, but... I mean, it's serviceable. It works. It's not maybe the best thing in the world, but it does work. And it's better than putting fucking Adelman and Clayman on the team, because they came with that meta. And I would much rather use Frey or even maybe Shizu or Guy than I would Protector Benimaru. Counterattacks is cool, but it's not really a super huge thing. Alright, so let's now move on to Guy into a more supportive role. Alright, so this time, I know I didn't show the team, but we are on the Space 1.0 team. So the old half-anniversary team with the hero, with Space Milim, with Carrion. We even have Space Protector Veldora, one I don't use normally, and he is still 84 to this day, because I've never pulled him again and never really wanted to. But we're going to try and buff Milim up. So she has, her space buff. She has Drago with her attack buff. We have the hero to give us crits because Guy's crit won't affect her because she's a magic character. Carrion is here for the orb changing for oranges. Guy is going to cover the greens like we can do right here. And then Raphael is here just in case we have enough points to use his all resistance down and his pierce, which I don't know if she has resistance to that. But whatever, let's get this started. So let's do that. And then we'll bring in Milim for Carrion, and then Hero for Raphael? Yeah, okay, let's do that. So pop, 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 and pop. Now, the thing about Space Veldora is that he is a very inferior protector compared to current stacking metas, because what he does, instead of buffing blues by 100% up to 500, he buffs every type of orb 50% up to 250. So it means that you can run other teams, technically, but you're getting less points overall. And a stacking team can get really point heavy after just a few turns. So the fact that you don't have the gigantic pool to pull from will hurt a little bit. But he does stack space attack on Milim, which will then get amplified by her Drago. So, I mean, that is a plus. Let's just skip that. Alright, and we have a whole bunch of his orbs, which we don't need. So let's just take him away for Carrion. And then we'll also take out Milim for Raph. So we have a whole bunch of protection characters on turn 3. Because Hero has Space Remo attached to her, Raphael does it too. I guess Guy also has it. Oh well. We'll just do this, and maybe we'll get some lucky blues next turn. Alright. I mean, we can make it work. So let's use his orb change. We can bring Guy back in for Carrion. And then use his orb change. And that'll get us another full hand. And then we'll bring Milim in for Guy. And this is good, so then we'll use another stack of Veldora. So now we're getting 100% extra skill points on every orb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that gets us 101 points back right there. Oh man, I don't know if we're gonna have enough to use everything, but we're gonna try. Okay, what is this hand? Can we do anything about it? I feel like we can. Again, we're just not getting a lot of Milim orbs, but she doesn't have an EX ult, so it's not really the biggest problem. So we're going to have 70 plus 45, so that's 115 points. So technically we could do it again. Let's get Guy out in for Raphael. Yeah, and then we'll use his orb change, and then we'll have just enough to use Carrion's orb change. This should get Milim's ult, this final blue orb, and then we can hold her in the back. Also, we'll get Hero's ult, so that's good. We're at 133 points, so we just don't make a lot of points back. But I guess we don't have to truly focus on getting blues. We could go for greens, except if this happens. So let's do 2 stacks. So how much are we going to need to actually nuke? I'm not going to really go for Raphael's skill, because it's just an add-on. But I want to see how much we do with the typical buffs. So we could put Drago and the space buff on Milim now, and then hold. And then we would need another 55, so 80, no, 60, 70 points right here, plus another 80. Okay, 130. Right? 140? What am I doing? What am I thinking? So wait, hold on. 70, 140. Math is hard. I don't know. We're gonna need more. Let's just use these now. and then we'll hold her in the back for Raphael. And then I guess we can also hold the hero too. Let's use the rewind for funsies. I guess we could have used Carrion's crit buff as well. He was already up here. Oh well. We don't have enough points to do anything about this, so let's just send the blues. And we'll make some of it back, I guess. So 101 points. I think if we get lucky, we could nuke next turn. Because her resistances are going to go away, and that's a lot of greens. Those will get us a decent amount of points, though. Okay. Yeah, I think we can actually go. Yeah, okay, yeah, let's try it out. So that hurt. She healed a little bit, so let's use... We got one more stack of Veldora, too, because it's turn 6. Awesome. So let's use the alt buff, because no one's going to have crits until we put the hero on, right? The hero would get crits from this because she's physical, but she's going to give her own crit buff to everybody, and the resistance down, which is what we want. So let's do that. So we can do this. We can take Guy out of here. Hopefully we have orbs for everybody. We don't have an orb for Guy. Unfortunate. Well, we've already used the buff, so we kind of have to commit to it. Let's get Raphael out of here. And then let's use the crit buff here. And then we can bring the hero in for Guy, I guess. She's an AoE, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So, okay, so we have everything but the Raphael skill, which again, I said was not the most important thing in the world to have. So what is Milim rocking right now? She has 86.4% space attack, 6% attack from the trait, 9.6 crit damage from the charm we have on, 60% space attack, 24% normal attack, 24% crit damage, over guaranteed crit, and then we have the 80% alt buff. Alright, how much health does Milim have? 229? She's super dead. Alright, let's see how much one Milim orb does, and then we'll send the alts, and then we'll follow up if we need to. Milim orb, 38k. Okay. Guy's not doing anything for that normal orb, so how much does Milim do on the alt, though? On the alt. He did his job. He orb changed a lot. And we did 328. I mean, it's not bad for only 6 turns of stacking on an old team with an old protector. I mean, yeah, I'll take that. Again, not the greatest thing in the world. The team is old, but it does work. And he can do his job efficiently. It's just now, since he's primarily a green orb changer with an alt buff, like you could, in theory, if you needed orange orb changing in an alt buffer, you could still bring Shuna, right? She could still fit that bill if you're focusing on blue orbs. You'd lose 10% of the alt buff, but also it doesn't cost as much because it's only 55 points versus Guy's 80 cost. But I mean, if you can swing it and it can work, and you have someone else who can cover the orange orb changing, like Carrion or the new Xion, who's stacking crit damage, it could work a little bit better out that way. So I don't know if there's anything else I want to try out. We'll be back. Alright, so we're about half an hour video, so I think we'll call it for now. If there's another team you want me to try and use him on, let me know in the comments and I'll test it out. I know we could put him on Fount of Wisdom, but they don't have their Beatdown Battle active, which is unfortunate. Also, if we did, that stage does not want you to crit, so he would actually kind of be a detriment unless the crit resistance wore off, or we could seal it somehow. We could put him on the Light 3.0 Pierce and Stun Strike team, but we don't need a green orb changer on that team because Lumi does that. We need an orange orb changer, which is what Shuna was doing. So I don't know if he has a spot there because they've already covered it. But I mean, we could try it out if you want me to. But let me know your team comps that you want to see down below. Also, what you think of Guy. I consider him one of the best units in the game for general usage and as a nuker. But let me know your thoughts. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.